Welcome to Eli Goldsmith's Unity Flow podcast. I'm recording for Chaim Yehuda today. He asked a request for a new group, and we wish much success to all of you. I'm in my office in Jerusalem, thank God, and I'm happy to share a flow. I have many podcasts, thank God. Unity Flow podcast, Relationship Flow podcast, Abuna's Our Future podcast, and I also had the honor to be with Chaim Yehuda in a yeshiva called Netzach many years ago, and thankfully it's actually just a few minutes down the road. I've had the pleasure of doing a bit of a sivuv, a journey in Israel. Like many people, I ended up back in Jerusalem, right where Chaim Yehuda was, and I lived 2 minutes from there. So I have the pleasure to connect into that energy of Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, especially right now after the 3 weeks. And we're heading to TuBav, which is a special time. Personally, I got engaged then. I was meritorious to get engaged 19 years ago outside the old city walls. And thankfully, I'm still married, which nowadays we don't take for granted, especially with our fun coronavirus challenges. Look, here's my mask. Don't mind showing you it, and all the sanitization. We got to keep that all moving. And the connection of TuBav and this little video that we're making for your group is the idea of unity. As you heard, I have a podcast called Unity Flow, and I will post this on there. It's also the idea of united souls, of bringing together souls, and that's what I've always felt with our friend Chaim Yehuda and other such people. There's always this general feel of divine providence that keeps bringing us together again, even though now we're talking in 2020, 5780. It's been like a long year, let's say. I mean, every day during quarantine and lockdown, all the other things that have gone on have lengthened time in a way, but that's a good thing. Hopefully, if we use that time for growth, for fulfillment, even if, God forbid, we've gone through some really hard times in the last few months, but we're tuning now into a special time called TuBav, where there starts to be a lot of hamtaka, sweetness, and a sweetening of the time through mercy, through unity, through unification. Because once again, when we realize at the source that we're all united and that there was really only one God, that's what we read even on TuBav, Ata Veit Ladas. There's nothing else but Hashem. Obviously, we realize that this Echdus Hashem, Shema Yisrael, in this week's or last week's parsha, Veschanan Hashem Achad, we get to the idea of the oneness and the Yisrael, the neshamas of Yisrael joining together to proclaim that oneness. Hashem is our God, and we're one with that. That unification gives power to our souls and to our godly elements, and so then we're not stuck in the more judgmental experience of exile, and we're able to tune in to that merciful path. So that's something which, I believe why I'm doing everything I'm doing. Specifically, I have, thank God, I have the Amunah podcast. I'm putting out a lot of Amunah, because Amunah is a foundational principle with Rav Shalom Arush. But I'm also with the Unity Flow, the idea of unification through music. And everyone remembers in Netzach, we had a studio there, and right at the end of the time in Netzach. And then even after that, we went on to do, thankfully, some Unity concerts, and that was over 10 years ago. So even now, right now, I'm putting out a United Souls collaboration album. Right now, to do an event, it's not going to happen. And I was remember 35 years ago, I was part of the Live Aid global event, one of the biggest historical concerts of history of our time. And so to be able to contribute through a collaboration album in a more spiritual context, this is a big opportunity to sweeten all the judgments and to make hopefully a bit more togetherness, that we're not alone, that there is an experience. One, we have Amunah, we have Hashem to talk to and to connect to, and that oneness between us and Hashem, but also between us and Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people. We're one, and that unity flow that exists on a daily level, that divine providence that's constantly bringing us together. And as Rav Desta always said, I'm named after Rav Desta, he said that when you're learning with people, or you're connecting with people on a bit more of a profound level, like you're talking about these kind of things, then there's specific divine providence, hashgacha pratis, mamish, like real detailed providence of exactly why you're with those people in that time, in that place. There's specifics, and it's very important. So I was sitting in Jerusalem, thank God, giving over Torah. In today I have a class, and it's going to be all about Amunah song, about music, like as I said, unity and drawing people together. So I wish you all a beautiful rest of summer and a new year to prepare for Tafshin Pei Aleph. It should be a year of Pella Elyon, and Hashem should give us the strength to be able to do everything, and also Pella of Alufa Esha Olam, to connect into the oneness of the true King and the true Master of this world, and everyone who's joining this group should be blessed, so that unity flow should feel that oneness in their life, and that will give them much more joy and happiness, because that in itself is the sweetening of everything. Enjoy. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. Eli Goldsmith.